Hey guys, I'm back. A little bit of an impromptu little get together here. I haven't had a lot of time lately. I've been working on a ton of different shows in the film industry, and so I've been obviously, a little busy. So I didn't even get a chance to put any books up for you. I literally just have a bunch of stuff I got in the mail and picked up a couple things on the weekend, and I just needed to do a video because I feel like I'm not touching anyone out there right now with books, beautiful books. Anyway, I got some books. Let's talk books. What do we got here? Well, I had some of these before. So what I did, I have this collection I've found, and it's a dealer, not a dealer, but it's a I'll just call it a honey hole. A local person has a collection, and I've been kind of sifting through it over time, and I only get to see a little bit at a time. And so whenever I see a good book, I grab it. The books are all in primo condition. You probably saw like I got a Batman 423 out of it, which I'm hoping for a 9.8 on. Things like that. I've been very lucky. I picked up like 7 copies of Predator #1 first print, that kind of thing. But there's a lot of indie and DC books in this collection, and there's some good books there, man. It really is. But I was able to pick up a couple keys. First appearance of Alien, and also first appearance of Alien versus Predator in Dark Horse Presents, issue 24, and I think 37, 36. These, when I was a kid, were a big deal. I love them. They were, they were. We couldn't get sequels to the movies, so we got these, and we loved them. And the art was really good, and we kept going. So I haven't really thought about them in years, but with Marvel picking up Aliens recently, there's been a big resurgence for Predator and Aliens books. So I've just been, whenever I see them now, I just kind of snag them. Only if they're a good deal, because they have gotten very expensive, especially if you buy them online, you buy them through CGC. I think, like, this book in a 9.8, this is Aliens, first Aliens, basically, um, by Mark Nelson, just great art. If you get a CGC 9.8 of this, I think it's going for about $1,700. Crazy. You'll notice I had another copy a couple videos ago. I believe in this book. I really do. I believe that all the stuff. If you're my age, mid 40s, you probably collected in the late 80s, early 90s as a young man, and all those books that you loved that came out fresh back then, like the Death of Rob and all that kind of stuff, that have been useless books for 20 years, are all coming back into fashion, and everyone wants them again. They're just going back to their childhood. But anyway, we're going to move on. I picked this up. I don't recommend picking this up. I think it's a bullshit book, but it's the first appearance of White Rabbit. I was able to snag a very, very high grade copy. 9.8s are going for ridiculous money for some reason. I think it's just because it's a black cover and not even a minor first appearance. I don't even want to know if it is a first appearance. But I got it for $2.50. So with that in mind, I didn't feel too bad about purchasing it. If you guys go look online, be surprised at how much this goes for in high grade. It's ridiculous. I have no idea what it goes for in 9.6 or 9.4, which is very easily could get because CGC has been grading like crazy people lately. So tight, so tight. So getting 9.8s is not as easy as it once was. So anyway, that's a book I just picked up on a work. Here's something that I picked up. And I picked up a few of these. I think I showed some before. I picked up the first appearance of the New Warriors. I have a few now. I have a couple of each. 411, which is a cool cover with Juggernaut. Everyone loves Juggernaut. Yeah. He is, or this book is the cameo appearance of New Warriors. And 412 is technically the first appearance of New Warriors. I've noticed, since I paid attention to this book, that you can find these cheap, very, 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 very reasonably priced. And there's some heat to them right now. People are, I don't know why. How many teams could the MCU have at one time? But people seem to think the New Warriors are going to be a thing. If you can get them for like $5 in high grade, and people are wanting them, and why not? Go get them. I'm just going to hold them, see what happens. If they do become a thing, it'll be exciting. It'll add value to my collection. I'll enjoy owning them. So another book I picked up out of that collection. This is not much of a book, but it's a cool cover. It's the Black Panther mini series. It's just a dollar book, but I just thought it was really cool. Another one, which is another dollar book, Death of Aunt May. You can't press this book because it's got one of those covers that is, I don't know, imprinted, I guess. If you pressed it, it would ruin it. But it's, as a kid, it goes back to what I said earlier. Uh, One of like Keys and things like that, like Death of Robin, these were all big books when we were kids. What was also big books were all these stupid, like glow in the dark covers and lenticular, all these different covers. But it's funny, I loved them when they came out because I was a kid and they were cool and they were new. But then they were dog shit for 20 years. They just sat in dollar bins. And they printed the hell out of this. I mean, there's probably 500,000 copies minimum of this book. It's issue 400, so it's like, you know, it was a big printer. Um, and they just sat and rotted. But now, again, people are going back to that era, people my age, and they're buying these things and they want the highest grade copy. And, they're not super expensive to get, they're not thousands of dollars, but they're driving the prices up. And, I'm seeing things like, I go back to the Death of Robin issue 428 of Batman, and I mean, they're going for almost $600 in a 9.8. That's ridiculous how many books are out there in that. But 9.8s are going for it, and there's enough people out there who want it, so why not? All the power to you. Another dollar bin book. I got a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers #1 by Hamilton Comics. It's not his first or their first appearance, but it's their first issue in a comic. I have a few of these. It's a cool cover. I liked the Power Rangers as a kid because I did. So yeah, there was that. I also picked up Mighty Avengers 13. It's the first appearance of the Secret Warriors, which is a different spec, I guess, on a team. Again, these aren't expensive books at all. Under $5 if you hunt, and if you find a collection, maybe even cheaper. So I just been. This is not something I'm recommending, but at the same time, if you can get them for cheap, why not? Just throw them in, let them percolate for a while. You never know. You never know. And there is value to them in higher grades, as there is with a lot of stuff. This is where it gets interesting. This is some of the cooler books for me because, as you guys know, I'm more of a Bronze Silver Age guy. That's where I love my comic books. So I've been really into Tomb of Dracula lately. I'm really into Blade. I'm really excited about Blade coming out and Moon Knight and all the horror stuff. I'd really like to see the MCU go down that path. Disney Plus looks like they're going to be doing an adult channel, not porn adult, but like rated R, where they can play things like Daredevil with a harder edge and Punisher and things like that. And I imagine this will open up an MCU that's more adult, or Deadpool. Like they can throw all that into there. So I'm just, it's exciting to me. I play imagination of what could be. So I've just been picking up some minor Tomb of Dracula keys related to Dracula and Blade. And my first one was issue 3, which is the first appearance of Van Helsing's daughter, who offhand I can't remember her actual name because I did not research this at all. And as I said at the beginning of this video, I just jumped in and did a video out of the blue with a stack of comics. So here we go. Issue 3. I like this book a lot. I was able to pick up a very high grade copy. I suspect this is going to be a 9.4 or higher raw for well under $50. It's and my God, these window box bronze Marvel books are my favorite books. I adore them. I just adore them. I don't think there's a bad cover on Tomb of Dracula run. Well, there's probably one or two, but I probably said that about Fantastic Four as well. But there's a few bad ones. Anyway, saying that, I got another one. It's issue 13, First Deacon Frost. I think it's also Blade's origin book, but that's not why I bought it. I bought it for Deacon Frost. I really recommend this one as well. Deacon Frost is like his arch nemesis. He's a baddie that I think is highly underrated. I don't think people are paying attention to these books right now. I do know that they're paying attention to Tomb of Dracula 25, which I'm fortunate enough to have a few copies of. I love that book. Hannibal King, first appearance. Again, if you can get a 25 as well, I think issue 3, 13, and 25, to me, outside of issue 10, obviously, um, First Appearance of Blade, are the books to get to prepare yourself. I wish I had multiples of these. I do not. Maybe I will in the future. I'm finding that in the last week, even, these are starting to go up, which is weird. Someone knows something. So, I got some funny books here too. They're not funny; they're pretty cool. I picked up a couple like low grade Spider Mans. I'm not a Spider Man guy. It's never been my guy. Everyone's got their guy, and Spider Man wasn't mine. Not that he's bad or anything. I quite like Spider Man. In fact, love the McFarlane run. Um, I just never dived headlong into collecting them. A lot of people did. I didn't, and now they're really expensive. And I like higher, like mid to higher grade books. So, but I was able to pick up a bunch of very cheap out of a collection, another collection. I found some of these, and I only picked them up because of their price. It was probably 20% of market, maybe less even. So why not? Anyway, this is a second appearance of Scorpion. Just a cool Ditko cover. There's nothing really special about it outside of it just being an Amazing Spider-Man 29, which is cool, man. So I'll probably get this graded. I'm thinking it's like a 3.5 to a 4. It's nothing spectacular, not really worth a lot, but when you pay $15 for it, or 10, I think, it's a no brainer. Even I might not even get it graded. It just might sit in one of my percolating boxes for a while, and just we'll see where it goes. Just a cool book to have. I quite like it. What else did I got? Oh, yes. I put this on my IG at Vancouver Comic Junkie, and got a lot of laughs over it. I got an exceptionally low grade copy, probably the lowest grade copy ever, of Amazing Spider-Man 15, first appearance of Kraven the Hunter. I'm probably going to get this pressed just so it sets the spine a bit better. But the problem with this book, if you can see here, it is torn right across, right into the middle of the book. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm probably going to get it graded because I went and looked it up. I mean, when I bought these Silver Age book or these books, this was given to me for free. I offered $10, and he goes, "Just take it." So I'm like, okay, just because it was so low grade. But I went and looked up sales on these, like just to check it out. I really hadn't followed it, and like point five sold for like $300. I was shocked, and I imagine that we get a point five. Maybe I can't imagine getting a 1.0. If you got a 1.0, that's awesome. But they all seem to sell like these super low grades under 2.0s sell in the $300 to $400 range. I was shocked. So I'm definitely gonna get that graded. Why not? You know, I'd keep it. It's cool. Anyway, apparently he's gonna be a big villain soon in the MCU. So yay. I mean, I guess that's a huge score. I was just so taken aback by it. I guess it was just a big win. Anyway, it's not a presentable. It's presentable enough, I guess. Again, if I get a press on it and just kind of even out the spine a bit, it could be a better book. But man, it is. It is a rough book. It's probably my roughest book I own. But you can still see the cover, and that's good enough. Man, look how chubby Spider-Man is on this cover. He's just he looks like the Hulk. Like it's almost like that's a Hulk drawing, and they just drew Spider-Man over it. It's really something, isn't it? Anyway, it's pretty cool though on a first appearance of Kraven. Okay, these are my last two books. I got these from that same collection, and the price was the only reason I bought them because I'm not, again, not a Spider-Man guy. The only reason I bought them is because the price was correct. It was too good to pass up. But I got two copies of Amazing Spider-Man 122, The Death of Green Goblin. When I was a kid, this was a big deal book, and it still is. I don't think it's as big of a deal now as it was, but I bought these. So this collection I bought from were unbagged, just stacks of random Silver Age books. A lot of very low grades, Sergeant Furies, things like that. But as I dug through it, I found these two bad boys, and I looked at them, and they had dust on them, and they were wrapped in these like really shitty bags, and I asked the guy how much for these, and he said, I don't know, $15 each, and I said sure. And when I got them home, let's see, we'll focus on there. Yeah, there we go. When I got them home and I took them out, I was shocked at how nice these things were. And I really do think with a queen and a press, one of these is going to hit a 9.0, maybe a 9.2. That's pretty impressive. I was pretty excited about that. So I'm going to keep the best one, and I'll probably sell the other one eventually, and use that towards my war chest towards a bigger book. But these were just like just a little stack of books that I got that I kind of just a little score. It was a little score. Every so often you get a little score, and that was my score. It's nothing huge, but it's something. I do have a few other books I should show you just before we call her a day. I've been picking up GI Joes. I'm a huge GI Joe guy, and Transformers. I just been grabbing GI Joes. There's a lot moving and shaking in the GI Joe and Transformers world, and I just started thinking, I gotta grab these things before they get too expensive. And I started looking into their keys. I'm probably do a video just on GI Joe. Like GI Joe was my first love as a child. It got me into comics. It was the reason I showed up at a comic shop the first day. GI Joe 1 was my first back issue I ever owned. My first Silver Edge was an X-Men 11. But it was the first back issue I ever owned. I loved it. I have a 9.8 of it. I also have a 9.8 of 21. And now I'm going after all the other mini keys, and there's a lot of them because there was a lot of toys, so they would introduce them. So I've been enjoying that process, and they're not super expensive outside of those two I mentioned. You can get high grade raw copies for most well under $30 at most, and if you're paying more than that, you really should just look harder. It's a pretty fun way to collect. I enjoy it. And I'm going to do a video about it in probably over the holidays. Over the holidays, I have a lot of videos I need to do just simply to catch up. This year I started doing this, and I got caught up in a lot of stuff. COVID happened, which helped me make videos. I slowed down sending books off to CGC. I wasn't buying as much here and there. I mean, here and there I was buying a lot. I was buying a lot. I still have videos to do on some of the stuff I bought. But my mom died, my best friend died. It was just a shit year. So it really it slowed down my process of making these videos. And then work started, and I work incredibly brutal hours. It's all fun though. It's I have to draw for a living, so I'm not bitching. But the best part is that Christmas holiday, it was 2.5 weeks for me. I plan on focusing on comic books for a good portion of that, because I don't want to think about work at all. I just want to do comics, and I'm probably going to sell some books too, just more to fill the war chest up a bit. I have some nice keys and stuff. I'm not sure if I should do it on here or do it through eBay. I've never done anything live on here yet. I'm probably going to do a couple live interviews too. I'd love to hear what I should do. If you guys could give me some suggestions, what more would you like to see? I'm also going to go through some of my other parts of my collection in certain videos. And the best part, I should, and I've said this before, but they're coming out of scheduled for grading at CGC. I have 225 boxes of moderns coming back in the next week. And I can't wait. I still have some value, a couple boxes for value tiered as well. And there's some pretty neat stuff in there. But from what I hear, I'm going to be waiting until like February for that stuff, because they all went in October. So there's a lot to look forward to, guys. I'm really loving the community right now. I'm loving seeing what people are buying, what people are doing. I'm surprised at how hardcore people are going in on modern Star Wars books. I get it, but I'm shocked. I want to do a video on just talking about this modern spec. It's seeing books like Amazing Spider-Man 300 hit $5,000. My brain's popping over it. Star Wars books are just through the roof. Actually, I'll be frank with you. I like Star Wars books, but I'm getting bored going to places online where I talk about comics, and all they talk about is Star Wars books. Simply because there's so much money to be made there, and I get it. But I wish we could talk about it a bit more. Just something else. Even 20% of the time. That would be cool. But it's all Star Wars right now, and I love Star Wars. Don't get me wrong, I love Star Wars, and I do have some Star Wars books. I just haven't really dived deep into the new stuff, and I really like it. And good for everyone for enjoying it. It's just like, but it's overtaken everything, and I'm just bored. I guess I'm bored. I get, but to some people this is boring. You know, this book's been around for 50 years, and I guess it's boring to them. But I don't know. Fuck you. That's what I say to that. This book's awesome. Anyway, I love old books. I didn't mean fuck you. Maybe I do. Okay, I'm going to take off. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be awesome. Could you also go to my Instagram at Vancouver Comic Junkie? That would be even more awesome. If you want to chat, talk, anything, comics, I just love talking comics, guys. There's so many angles. There's so much fun. It's like talking sports for sports junkies. Send me a message, man. You got a question? You got something you want me to do? You want to do a live chat on here? Let's do it, man. Let's do it. I love what everyone's doing out there, and I look forward to seeing you again. And I'll make sure to see you again a lot sooner next time.
See you later.